Hi, everybody. Get comfortable, grab a cup of tea. I don't know how long this is going to go. Um, I've been wanting to share this in different ways, and it's taken me a while to sort this. And I wanted to do something very comfortable and casual and kind of messy. And I have made some notes, but I really wanted to speak to you about inconsistency. And I've done this before in different ways to my audience. But for the first time in my life, I feel like inconsistency is purposeful. And it could be because I'm like right on my second Saturn return, just about. Saturn's doing funny stuff in my chart, if you follow that, which is when you start to claim your full power and you start to definitively declare what you want to be carrying forward into the next stage of your life. And I've practically felt it physically in my body. So we're going to go with this and we'll accept that this is the beautiful July astrology. It's perfectly timed. My soul's got it covered. So let's just dig into what we're here to talk about. Um, it finally feels, for the first time in the decades I've done my work, that I actually am able to name what's underneath it. And that's kind of exciting and a little scary at the same time. So let me tell you what's really uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable being inconsistent. It's really uncomfortable never knowing what I'm creating while I'm creating it. And so I just want you to know it's not fun. And I know there's a lot of us out there doing it. Most of the women I work with are following their soul. And when you're following your soul, you kind of never know what's coming around the corner. And for me, in human design, I'm a 3 profile, and this tends to apply also very strongly to 6 profiles. You don't really know what you're creating while you're creating it. And you have to experiment and you have to throw things out there in a really haphazard way. And I hate that. Like, I'm such a Capricorn. And for me, when I don't know where I'm going and I don't know what the purpose is, everything just feels hard. And so I have spent a long time trying to find a way to give the unknown some sort of structure and guide. And that has been a point of my work. So stay tuned. There's more to this. The second uncomfortable thing that's really hard for me to do, that I know it's here for me to do, I've had coaches tell me this. I have my astrology chart tell me this. My North Node is here to say this. Document your journey and have it be imperfect. That is so hard for me. I did not naturally land in the land of documenting my journey. I'm going to try to learn it. So I'm going to practice it and figure out how I'm going to do this on socials in a way that works for me. So this is my first version of it because it's been coming in and I haven't organized it. I haven't written it. I've just jotted notes. So here's what's going to be messy and deep. And because I am kind of deep and I get kind of geeky about things. So I'm talking about my work, and my work is for you if you're intuitive, if you're spiritual, if you're a businesswoman, and have been trying to live your life and build from this. It's pretty simple. And as I've been doing this since 2008, I've been looking for clarity. I've been looking for ways to have me make sense in the world. I have realized it's a continual exploration, and I'm just figuring it out as I go. And as I'm doing all of this, I'm realizing for the first time, why does it just land now? I don't know. It's all about orientation. How do I orient to me, to this, to the world? How do I figure out what all of this unknown is that I'm walking through? How does it fit in life? How does it fit in my journey? How does it fit in business? How do I make meaning of this? This has been what I've sought. So what I realized just yesterday, which was really fascinating, is that in 2008, what happened is I shut down my marketing business. And it was necessary. It was the recession. I'd had a third child, and I did not know what was going towards. All I knew is that inside I couldn't keep doing marketing the way I'd been doing it. And I stepped out into the world and said, I'm just going to follow whatever feels good inside. When I did this in 2008, there was not a lot of guidance. There was nobody really that I could reach out to. And I was looking at people online trying to find something that made sense because I wasn't going to leave business. Business has always been fun for me. Like, how do you do business? How do you do it in a good way? How can you stay in alignment? And I started to merge this concept of following your soul and running a business in integrity. So that's kind of been my theme. And it was really excellent because for a long time, I could ground everything in business. I could help you with a website. We could do the tech. I can do systems. We can do products. We can do marketing. We can do messaging, all that stuff. And it was really great to ground it that way. But that's not the point of me. That wasn't what I wanted to keep doing. And I still have done it for a long time and do it for friends still. I like to stay in it because I like the nerdness of it. But what I've realized now, when I look back over the years, I've been circling constant themes, and every program I've done and everything I've offered and all of the mentorship that I give when I work with my people all comes back to these things. And they're relevant to you too. These are the questions that I always look for answers to. Why am I here? Which speaks to soul purpose. And ironically, one of the very, very first things I did out in the world is that I offered 30 gifts of purpose, which meant I would speak to you for free to reflect for you, to listen to my intuition, because I was still sort of practicing doing this, and reflect for you your soul purpose. And it was the most amazing thing. I met a bunch of really amazing women, and I got to recognize my connection and my intuition. And I have never looked at it from the same place I'm at now, where I can look back. It was 2010 to 2012. It was about that time. And some of these people I'm still following online, and it's really amazing to see how they've expressed. But one of the things I talked about in soul purpose is that your soul purpose is always with you. You never lose it. It's always in the room. It's not about what you do. It's about the quality your soul carries. So that's been my first question. Why am I here? The second question I'm always looking for answers to is, how do I know what's true for me? How do I know what's true for me? And so that goes back to what I've always asked, which is, what's your intuition? How do you know what you know without knowing, without proof? And just about everyone I speak to, no matter who they are, whether they claim to be intuitive or not, they can always answer that question. It might be all over the place. They may not have an official name for it, because you can name different types of intuition if you want to use the psychic clairs, but everybody has a way of knowing. And that was really important to me. And I'm realizing how central that is. And I've never really made it hugely central. I've always referenced it as, you probably have this, so then you work with me. But I think I'm going to pull more of that into my work. And the second thing with how do I know it's true for me is I started using human design in 2014. And that's foundational and so simple and so easy to know how you create and how you make decisions to stay in alignment with your soul. So that's the second question. Third question, there's 5 of them. Why does this part keep showing up? I get this question all the time with all of my clients. Why do I keep doing this? Why does this keep showing up? Why do I have a hard time with visibility? Why, what is going on? And I now have answers to that I didn't have years ago. It's about your core wound. And for me now, I recognize it's a combination of things. It's core wound, it's trauma, it's nervous system. And I'm just like, all right, now I can see this from a different lens. Fourth question is, how do I move forward when no one has done this before? This has been central. When I first started, my first program was, how do I do business in alignment with my soul? And fundamental to that was this idea that everything in conventional business makes everything about who you are as an intuitive wrong. Follow your intuition. Don't be logical. Choose the things that bring you joy. That is doing something that's uncharted. And what I'm recognizing, that as I've matured in the work that I do, I'm noticing the way that I can speak to it is different. So the women I work with are truly intuitive, and they're also in another completely uncharted space, because they're moving from the body of work that they've and the experience they've developed into the body of work they're bringing into creation. And what they're bringing into creation has no book. There's no guidebook. We're making it up. So this is like, how do I move forward when no one has done this before? That's central to what I do. And the fifth thing is, who am I becoming in all of this? It's all about consciousness. It's really fascinating because that's what drives me, is consciousness. So, and then I take all of these things and I wrap it inside of business as a practical application. It's not health, it's not relationships. For me, it's business because I find joy in that. And how do you grow something and birth something into creation in this way and still do your business stuff? So here are the things that I've learned that I want to share with you. Intuition teaches you how to orient inward. Your soul purpose teaches you how to orient towards your own unique expression. Your core wound teaches you how to orient towards what has shaped you instead of avoiding it so that you can claim it as your strength. Walking an uncharted path teaches you to orient without external validation. And consciousness orients you to your own evolution and then what you're here to impart to the collective. This is like mind-blowing to me as I've put all this together. I love this. And it is so, so tied into the work I'm doing with the soul arc. And what happened with this is really fascinating. I had a friend comment on a post I made, and she said, "Hey, what have I been living under a rock? What's this soul arc thing?" And I thought it was precious. And so in part, I'm answering this question for her. That would be Rebecca. I'll name you. It's been really fascinating because I've been wrestling my whole life. What do I call myself? What do I call my work? How do I sell it to people? How do I present it to people? How do I give it name? How do I orient this? And the soul arc has given me a piece of that, because what it does is it says, through your life, you are developing your soul qualities. And in astrology, you can identify the North Node as what you're here to grow. And I didn't have this until this last year, but I've been trying to figure this out for decades, right? Just about 2 decades. But I have now all of this lived experience of finding my way and understanding what women are seeking and understanding now what it's like to live through midlife, which was hell, like midlife 40 to 55. I know exactly what going through my second Saturn return is feeling like, because I'm going to get to go through it for another 2.5 to 3 years because of my aspects. So it's about understanding agency and sovereignty and power and authority. And yeah, I know what it's like to walk into your core wound, which happens about 49 to 52, and realize, how do I work with this so that it's serving me as I move forward rather than being a pain point the whole time. It's fascinating to come to this awareness and be able to share it with you, and also be able to let you know, I feel like I have my own orientation, which makes it so much easier for me to be able to offer you a consistency of content, in a way, a consistency of message, a consistency of information that's helpful to you. And I'm really grateful for people who've stuck with me through this whole time, because if you've read any of my Substacks, you will see this has been going on for years. And for a long time, I gave myself permission to just post something and have it not connect to anything. And then I don't follow up with it in the future because I don't know how to make it connect to anything. I think 2 years ago, I did a whole post with this elaborate chart that explained how the next couple of years were going to be the era for intuitives and soul-led women, and how it was all going to be structured. And it's coming to pass. It's fascinating to meet people out in the world who this is normal. Conversations about soul and intuition and following your soul path is normal. When I did this in 2008, you couldn't even talk about this in rooms. You could never bring it up in business. And it's just been fascinating to see how far we've come. And then it's also fascinating to realize that the new business out there being helped and brought along and is exactly what I was trying to create back then, when there was really no one really talking about it in this way. So Now you're going to hear me talking about all of these things from the perspective of how can I help you? Basically, this is all what it comes down to. How do I help you orient to yourself so that you can be your truest, deepest, most joyful, loving self? I wrote this down so I can remember. It's been my puzzle to solve this. I've wrestled this whole entire my whole life. It's like, how do you orient to yourself? How do you live in ease and joy? If you were here in the early days, that was like I continually repeated that. It still doesn't leave because that's orientation for me. How do I live my life in ease and joy? But now I know that it's how can I help you orient your life so that you can live it in ease and joy and do all the things that you're here to do from your soul's path, your soul's guidance. And I'm so excited to be able to share this. I'm happy. I hope this helps because it's going to orient everything you receive from me going forward. I still don't know which social media I'm going to play in more of. I really love Substack. You're going to continue to see me here mostly twice a week. I'm still finishing my soul arc episodes. The next one coming up is on Chiron, so your core wound. And yeah, that's what I had to share with you today. I hope this is helpful. I've missed my Bring It to Life ladies, which was my paid community. There's new stuff coming along that path. You guys will be the first to know. And I just want to thank you all for sticking with me as I've journeyed along this path in this way. Big hugs to you all. We'll see ya.